Hello and welcome back to So Forth and So On. I'm Miss Henderson, and today I'm going to share pattern reviews with you. Not so much of a review. I picked up 3 new patterns today from Joann. They have simplicity patterns on sale for $1.99 for their doorbuster. And so there were a couple of patterns that I had my eye on, and since they were for $1.99, I went ahead and purchased them. And then I also want to share 3 butterick patterns that I am planning to sew over the next couple days. So I'll show the new pattern purchases first, and then we'll talk about the ones I want to make. But before I go into my patterns, as we know, this is February and it's Black History Month. And I just want to do a Black History spotlight. And I'll be really quick. It's actually Black History in the making, in progress. Um, about a year and a half or so ago, a new business opened in my community. And I was so excited for this business to show up. And so on the grand opening, I decided, wanted to go there and welcome our new business resident to the community. And when I stepped in, it was a woman who looked like me. Her name is B, and the name of the business is B's Beauty Supply. And so there's the history in the making there. Um, as we know, the beauty supply industry is pretty sewn up really tightly in this country. Definitely in this region. Um, Everywhere I have been, from Chicago eastward to Maryland, I've never met a black or African American beauty supply owner, a beauty supply store. There were black people working in some of them, but they weren't the owners. B is not only working there, she is the owner, and I'm so proud of her for that. And I say a prayer for her every time I drive past her building, and I go in regularly. I try to get in there once a month at least to purchase something. She doesn't have a huge store, but it's big enough. It's big enough. It's very clean, very organized, and just very pretty. She has a little bit of everything: um, hair color, perms, hair conditioners, shampoos, gels, wigs, anything any other beauty supply store has, she has on a smaller scale. So I'm just very proud of her for having the courage to open a beauty supply store, because that's a heavy game right there, and it's uh, locked almost solid. But she broke through, and I praise God for her. And I pray that she continues to flourish and thrive and grow to what her dreams and beyond, for her business, her baby. Her children are grown now, and so she's fulfilling a dream of hers. And she has some other dreams that I believe, once this project is stable, or where she wants it to be, um, I believe she's going to fulfill some other dreams. And so I'm just praying with her and for her, for that success in that area. So that was my Black History Month spotlight on my sewing channel. Um, Please consider visiting my other channels. I have 2 other channels. One is Nothing Wasted. Faith with Works is alive, and that's where I have daily devotionals and talk about faith-based. We have faith-based conversation there. And then I have Miss Henderson's Life Skills class, which is pretty much what it says: life skills, just talking words of wisdom, tips, and things like that. I also do tutorials for lessons for my students when they request a lesson from our classroom to be taught online, where they'll have 24/7 access to it. So we'll move on to where we are here and so forth and so on. Um, the patterns that I picked up from Joanne today, I'm going to do them in numerical order. Okay, so Simplicity 9476. Okay, 9476. Now, the description here says it just has women's dress, and this is, I've had my eye on for quite some time, and I believe I'm going to do view C. Yeah, B or C, I am interested in those views. But there is another view with, view A has a sleeve on there, and that might be something that it has. Now, this one here will be done in brocade, charmeuse, chinks, cotton blends, crepe. I don't have on my glasses, so I'm struggling. But it's woven fabrics that this will be done in, and it looks like an evening dress or something kind of dressy. But I'm sure that you could choose a fabric to dress it down, but I'm going to keep it dressed up. And so this is something that I plan to make in the next few months. So this is that one. Simplicity 9476. And it ranges, this is a plus size pattern, so I may have to take some things because they didn't have the size down. So we'll work it out. I'll tailor it for me. This one here, don't judge me, but I thought it would be fun just to try to make some of these articles. So it is Simplicity 9478. And it is Mrs. and Women's Bralette and Panties. I think one of the panties looks like a thong. It is a thong or a panty or a bralette. So I have sewn and made underwear before, but I wanted to try with a pattern. I've made without a pattern before, and stuff is nice. But I wanted to try a pattern this time to have that in my repertoire. So I'm not sure when I'll be making this because it's like 15 pieces to this. So it's in my stash for now. And that's Simplicity 9478. And it just says all sizes. So I think it'll be something fun to try. Always trying to improve my sewing skills, which means I have to step outside of what I'm accustomed to doing all the time and try something new. So here we are with that. And then the last thing I wanted to try is adaptive clothing. And it's Simplicity 9488. And this is a man's cardigan and a woman's cardigan. So it's a unisex adaptive cardigan, and you can put trim, and I mean it has some options there. But the adaptive part is here. These buttons in the front, they are permanent buttons. They don't button, and they're not functional. The function is in the back, where the back of the garment is Velcro. And so people who have dexterity problems with their fingers or who are not dressing themselves, someone has to dress them, this might be something really helpful. So I want to learn how to make this and see how that works. I do have someone in mind I want to give it to, and I want to see if I can adapt this pattern to make it into other articles of clothing, such as a shirt. So this is a cardigan here, sweater, and if I can use the same techniques from here to make men's shirts or women's shirts that have the Velcro instead of buttons, and it's in the back. That way they don't have to worry about the Velcro popping open in the front or something, but they can still be just as dressy and glamorous in the front, but it's a Velcro. So there are no zippers, no buttons, no snaps, none of that stuff. So I'm excited to try that, and I might put that on my list. This might be the first thing that I sew since we are heading into spring. This might be the first of the 3 that I sew, so that we'll still be in somewhat sweater weather. So those are my new patterns. I've already cataloged them. You see that I've taken out the contents and put it into one of these. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about here, take a look at my video on how I organize my sewing patterns, and you'll know what I'm talking about. So these are ready to go into the lookbook, and I have to figure out where I'm going to put adaptive clothing, but that's not for a conversation for this moment. Alright, and so that brings us to our last part, our last item on the agenda, which is stuff I'm going to sew this weekend, like starting tomorrow. The hardest and longest part of sewing for me, to be honest with you, is cutting out the pattern. I have to change my mind about these patterns because I have a very I don't like to do it. I don't like to cut out the sewing pattern. I just wish there was some way they could make these patterns already cut so that you could just go ahead and pin it to your fabric, cut out the fabric and sew. But it's this cutting out patterns is not my favorite thing to do, and it's just not my favorite thing to do. And I've tried different things. If you have a method or something that you can suggest that will make me like cutting patterns out a little bit, I would appreciate you putting it in the comments, and I'll try it. Currently what I do is I choose a day or time of day to cut patterns. And I cut my patterns, generally I cut them even when I'm not ready to use them. I'll cut them ahead of time. I used to cut my patterns out and then refold them and put them back in the package as soon as I bought them. But I started doing pattern hauls, and it got to be too much. And so when I have downtime, I choose one day to just cut out sewing patterns, whether I'm going to use them or not. And then that way when I decide I want to make something, oh good, the pattern's already cut. And that just makes the project more enjoyable. So I think these are already cut out. Feels like it. Let's see. I'm going to put these in numerical order. It's not necessarily the order I'm going to sew them in, but just put them in numerical order. Alright, so we have, and these are all Butterick. I always talk about simplicity, so we're going to do Butterick. This is the Butterick weekend. Alright. And this is B6186. And I like that dress because of the inset, because of that in the middle there. And I have like fabrics that's so beautiful, but they were so expensive that I couldn't get a full whatever yardage I wanted. So I got like a yard because it's so pretty. And so those pieces of fabric that I have like that, I can use them for these types of dresses. And so it has that feature piece in the middle there, and then the side panels. It says easy. It's labeled as an easy pattern. And let me see. I might as well put my glasses on. Oh wow, that looks so much better. Okay, so the fabric you can linen was jacquard, gabardine, tweed. Okay. hmm It's easy. So because it's easy, it says it's easy, and because of that little piece in the front I thought was interesting, I decided to go ahead and make this. Because I have everything I need to make it. You should see my fabric stash. And this is in women's sizes, uh, extra large through 6X. So, and it's a Connie Crawford design. So I'm gonna, and I bought these. These are patterns I bought some time ago. Whenever there's a $1.99 or a $1.99 sale, I pick up patterns. I have a list of patterns that I'm interested in, and when I know they're on sale, I pick some off my list. So Butterick 6186, a woman's dress. I'm gonna make that, and I'll show it to you when I'm done. The next one is Butterick 6624. Butterick 6624, and it runs from size 8 through 16. And it has 3 views, and all of them are lovely, but I believe I am leaning toward view B and C. And so view B and C, yeah, that's good yardage. You would make the, well, let me just show it to you. Butterick 6624. And so views B and C, this is this view and this view. So between these, I like the sleeves, I like the neckline, and I like the hemline because that's an extra. At the bottom here, the bottom has a little, it's different from the rest of the fabric. On this one here, it's the same, but there's a little piece of trim separating that part there. So it's a little piece of black trim right there that separates that. And this one is marked as easy. And it's called a fitted sheath dress. Has neck facing and invisible back zipper with a hook and eye and neckline. Sleeve and skirt variation. So there's sleeve and skirt variation. I showed this the shirt variation. And you see the sleeve variation. You see this view, the long sleeve. And then we have these 2 sleeves here. One's a little longer than the other. So that looks good. And I'm torn between B and C. And I guess when we get down to, yeah, you just need 2.5 yards. So that's not bad, you know. Yeah, 2.5. No more than 3 yards. I think the 24, which we don't even have that on here, but the size 24 only requires 2 3/4 yards. I say 3 yards for that. They suggest cotton blends, challis, crepe, sateen, linen, and broadcloth, all woven fabric. So this is another woven fabric pattern, and I'm thinking of using an African print to make this dress, whichever view I decide to do. And I also have, for this one, I have fabric with that feature, and I'll probably do black side panels as well. And I have that. This last one, Butterick 6654, it says all sizes in one, and it says fast and easy. So fast and easy, you know, I don't have a lot of time. I want to make this one. And I'm only going to make the version for me. This comes in Mommy and Me, and it's really cute. But I'm only going to do the adult version this time and see how that works out. And again, it's labeled very easy. Mrs. and children's dress and sash. Fitted wrap dress. Has neck facings and front yoke with pleats and closes in front with hook and bar and inner tie closure. So for this one, and this one requires a lot of yardage because I guess of the skirting part. So I have to make sure I have enough fabric. But for the size I'm considering making, which is a medium or a large, I am going to need 4¼ yards of fabric. So while this is easy, it has a lot of fabric in it. It has a lot of notions. Let's see. Well, the notion says 1 yard of 1/4" cross grain ribbon, 1 hook and bar. That's not so bad. Okay, so I'm okay. Alright, so I'm looking forward to making these 3 dresses. And I might even get to make a pair of slacks with a flat elastic waist. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. So, I will post a video tomorrow. I'm going to make a bow tie. I'm going to do a bow tie tutorial and an easy wallet tutorial. Okay? For tomorrow. So that'll go up tomorrow, which is Sunday. And I'll be showing you these makes, the 3 dresses, in the coming days. Okay? So, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed our conversation. I would appreciate any remarks in the comment section. I would be thrilled if you would subscribe to this channel and ring the notification bell, hit the notification bell so that you will be notified when I upload any new videos. And press like if you liked what we had to say. If there's something in particular that you want me to touch on or speak about, any tips or any sewing tutorials or anything that you are interested in me doing on this channel, I'd be more than happy to give it a try. So thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your day.